right, do I have a motion to come out of executive session?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? So moved. Okay, item number 3, approve the November 20th, 2018 Selectmen's meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Very good. Item number 4, this is the public forum. This is an opportunity for anyone who wishes to address the board this evening with any issue that is not on the agenda. Seeing none. That's right. Item number 5, public hearing to consider an application for a bed and breakfast malt and vitreous liquor license submitted by Haster Gulfast Incorporated, DBA The Mainstay, in 34 Main Street. I'll open this public hearing. Does anybody like to speak? We'll close this public hearing. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. And for the record, be noted that the appropriate people in the town, the chief of police, the fire chief, have gone out and signed off on this. And number 6, reappoint Tracy O'Rourke to a 2-year term as Registrar of Voters.
So
Motion to repeat. Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Item number 7, we would adopt government wharf rules and regulations. Lori, do you want to speak to this just for a moment?
The Government Wharf Committee has talked for some time about updating the rules and regulations. I think the last one was in 2003. We basically reformatted them so that the similar paragraphs are together under headings, and we added in some general pier rules that we took from the Cape Porpoise pier rules. And we took out the monetary amount that's paid each year for a peer member so that we will set that as part of the budget each year. And we included the definition of a commercial fisherman.
Excellent.
Some of the older rules were omitted. Some of the new rules that need to be in place because of the new facilities. I mean, they need to be strengthened up quite a bit. They've done that, and the Government Wharf Committee, they're all, it's important that these get passed.
And the Government Wharf Committee met Monday night, and they recommended these changes.
I've got 2 grammar errors.
Okay?
Fixed on page 2, on the top line where it says E, members, they pay as yearly dues. That should be plural. They don't just put a yearly due, or is that?
I think, yeah, you're right.
Okay?
Okay, drop down 2 paragraphs to G, D, whatever that is. I'm trying to figure out G. Yeah, okay. But it talks about the next to last line, lobstering and/or fin fishing, and have a mooring in the dock space. Should be added, just have
Okay.
a mooring, and I think the rest of the language.
Good, thank you for catching those, Pat.
Language is good.
Do I have a motion?
That facility's gonna last an awful long time.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so well built, and the guys did a wonderful job building it, putting the wharfs together and everything else. I mean, it's fantastic, and it fits in, it really looks so much, you know.
Yeah.
How much of a weight, do you know how much of a weight is there in order to get in on it?
Well, right now, the bait shed is full.
That's
Doesn't
what it
mean that you can't
insinuated.
use the wharf, but it does mean that you have a waiting list to be, I don't think there's anybody on the waiting list, is there?
I don't think they currently have anyone
I
on the
don't think
waiting
so.
list, no.
No.
Have they dropped their voting people in and out policy over there?
I beg your pardon?
They're voting people in and out.
No, it's still in here, isn't it? I think it's still in here. Where don't they vote to let, let's see here.
In terms of a new member?
Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
We don't do that in Cape Porpoise.
No?
No. I mean, if you're a commercial fisherman, you should be allowed to fish there under their rules. They shouldn't be allowed to
But
vote
when
you
you
in and
have,
out.
when you have a facility that's full already, how are you gonna let somebody come in? I mean, what
Well,
I'm
as you
saying
said,
is,
that
you
you
can
don't have to
use,
have your,
Waitlist.
you don't have, that's for your bait shed.
right,
And, you know, there are other private bait sheds in the area. And not everybody uses bait that needs to be,
did you, I'm not sure whether this says, it
Well,
says
this
here,
says no new members will be accepted into the bait
into the
shed.
bait-
Okay.
bait
But
shed,
you
nothing to
can,
do with-
you can become a member if
Right.
you want.
Okay.
They had a new student member, but
What's that?
they had a new student
Yes.
member, yeah.
But
all right,
this
I
is-
just
that
wanna make sure
pertains-
that since the state and the town and everyone have put all this money in there, that it's not going to be a good old boys club where
No.
anybody with a
Is
license and
restricted.
meets, anyone who certainly
Right.
I'm for restriction for commercial fishermen, meaning that you truly are. But I wanna make sure that if a commercial fisherman qualifies under these rules, that they can't say, we don't want you for various reasons.
We went over that a few minutes ago. I did say that they were able to go fishing, but it was a bait shed that they couldn't use
Okay.
because it was full, right at the present time.
Because I know that has been the practice over there in the past, for them to vote people in and out.
And I had a question about doubling the dues initially. I don't know why that, it was just a question I had. I don't know why that is.
You mean
It-
doubling the dues for a
I
new
think it's
member?
because it's always been an enterprise fund and that they have paid for the services there and the maintenance, and so hence, I think it's a way of getting somebody to buy into
First
some of
payment-
that.
First payment's double, it's like first and last month's rent when you.
Yeah.
Or
I
an
was just
initiation.
curious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or an impact or something.
I
like
did talk to them about that particular one.
Did
I
you?
said, do you still want to keep this? And they said yes.
Okay.
Okay.
It's fine.
Do I have a motion?
that. So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Unanimous. Okay, number 8, consider the following abatement request. Dino Spignardi, 26 Windmere Place, map 20, block 3, lot 1. The abatement amount would be $1,052.96.
And Becky Nolet is here to
Becky, would
give
you
you a.
like to come on camera? Thank you.
So Mr. Spugnardi sent me a letter requesting that I review the land value of his property in relation to the other properties in his neighborhood. He felt that it was overassessed due to the fact that he has a limited building envelope where he could, place the house because there was significant wetlands. When he originally purchased the parcel, it had been assessed for many years as an unbuildable lot. So when he did obtain a building permit, the practice is to now assess it as a buildable lot. But because of the significant topographical issues, I did deem an abatement for 20% reduction. So that is a typical topographical adjustment, thank you.
Is
Yes.
there a lot of, wetlands?
Yes, he was very limited on what type of house he could build. He couldn't have like a two-car garage because where his septic was, he had to go to DEP to get some fill in a certain area, and then he had to put his house very close to one of the setbacks. So he can't expand on that lot. What's there is all he can do.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you, Becky.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 9, accept the Clean Water State Revolving Loan Fund bond extension. Lori, would you like to speak to that?
The town approved a $2 million bond through the State Water Revolving Loan Fund for the wastewater projects that we had undertaken on Ocean Avenue, Green Street, and Chicks Creek pump stations, and we also have projects at the treatment plant. As part of that, we also had a climate adaptation change study we have to do and a fixed assets analysis. We originally had told the state we would be done by December 31st, 2018. But as you'll remember, we had a long-term illness in our department, and that put us behind on the projects. So the state has authorized us for a year's extension, but that means we have to change all the state documents and re-sign those. So I need you to authorize it again. This time is an extension till January of 2020.
Have a motion?
So move.
Second.
All in favor? Motion passes, thank you. Number 10,
Makes sense.
consider a street opening permit for the Secret Service Command Station at Walker's Point to uncover communications pole box. Since this was an emergency, it's already been done, so. Have a
moved.
motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? There we go. Consider 9 supplemental commitments of sewer rates for 2016, 2017, and 2018. We already discussed these at our last meeting. Motion, please.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Authorize expenditure for Pavement Treatment Incorporated. It's my understanding that a lot of this work has been done, and we need to pay them, and it's just easier to go through this at the end. So unless anybody has any questions,
No.
I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve the authorized expenses for the Pavement Treatments, Inc.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Okay, and the fun part, accept a donation of $1,000 from Arundel Lodge number 76 of Freemasons to be split between holiday food baskets with community outreach services and Secret Santa.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. I'm very proud, as 2 other members of this board are, to be members
Yeah.
of this organization.
Right.
Number 14, accept a donation of $100 from James Harris for the Public Health Department's Emergency Fuel Fund.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you very much.
With thanks.
Harris. Approve the December 13th, 2018 warrant, treasurer's warrants.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Right. Other holiday office hours, Lori?
As Christmas Eve is a Monday this year, and it's certainly been a year that the crew, I think, has done an outstanding job, I was wondering if the board would be willing to close non-essential services on Christmas Eve with the understanding that employees would take accrued time off on that day.
I'm in favor of it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it's a great idea.
Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? All right. And as our last.
I have
thank
some
you.
other others.
Yeah, I know you do. Since our last item is executive session this evening, do we have any other items? Alan?
I have none, thank you.
Nothing for me, thanks.
Nothing for me.
I just want to thank our police department and all the help that we got over the last couple of weekends. Prelude was a wonderful success. Everybody, almost everybody, had a wonderful, wonderful time. It was, it just went very smoothly, thanks to all the help that we got. And it's much, much appreciated.
Lori?
I also just wanted to remind everyone that we will be closing for 2 hours on Tuesday, the 18th, for our holiday luncheon for employees. And I hope some members sitting here would join us.
We will be there.
I'll be
I will
there.
be.
Tuesday?
I hope so.
Tuesday, the 18th,
From noon
That's
to
this
2.
Tuesday.
noon to 2.
Coming Tuesday.
Food's always great.
Absolutely.
It is.
One other item I just wanted to let you know, we had planned to renumber Kings Highway, Sandpoint, and Wildwood. We had talked to you about it. Jay had come a little while ago to talk about that process, and that it would take effect in April of 2019. As Jay continued to apply the current street ordinance to those, it ended up, it was impacting many more people and having some unintended consequences. And Jay and I have discussed it and believe that it's in our best interest to come forward with some recommended changes to the ordinance for next June and prolong the renumbering for a year.
Yeah, let's get it done right.
Yeah, I mean, the big concern we have is we don't want to number people and then have to come back and do it again.
Right.
So we're trying to take care of every little detail.
Very good. Do you have anything else, Lori?
I just want to talk about the next meeting date. So it is normally December 27th. When we talked about the holiday schedule, it sounded like you guys were still on board with Thursday night, the 27th, so I was just checking in before we start lining things up.
Do it
Thought we were
Thursday
gonna do it in
morning.
the
Yeah, I thought it was morning.
Are we?
Yes.
Okay. That's why we're checking
In
in?
your place,
Thursday morning,
in your place.
9 a.m.
Thursday morning in my place.
Yep.
Okay.
Very good.
Which means we'll wish everybody a Merry Christmas
Yes.
now, those who are watching,
Happy
and
holidays.
Happy Holidays and Happy New Year.
That's at 9 AM, is that right?
Are you done?
9
Lauren?
a.m.
Anything else? Okay. And I would just like to say thank you to everybody who came out to honor President Bush at our memorial last Tuesday. And as a personal note, you know, I want to say that I was very honored to represent this board and represent this town. And my understanding is that it went national. We hit the big time. We've done that before, but, you know, our little ceremony was all over the national news, and I'd like to thank everybody who participated, and I think that, you know, we really set the bar for how we do things here in Kennebunkport, and
I think it was nicely done.
I think it
just
was a very
nicely
good,
done.
it was very good, short, sweet, and to the point.
Yeah.
So, now that is, our meeting's behind us, I would like to suggest we move to executive session, per paragraph 30 AMRSA, subsection 2702, to discuss personnel matters.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor? And we will not be conducting any other business after we get out of executive session this evening.
All right, we got a sign off. And
We're done. All right.
hold on, wait till I get your mic off.
I think it's-